This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Coming to you from the Circa Sportsbook here in downtown Las Vegas, I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You can always hit me up on Twitter at Scott's On Air. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live as we have a Game 7 Saturday night on our hands. In progress right now in the NBA, the Clippers at the Denver Nuggets, Game 7 of their Western Conference first round series. And this game closed with the Denver Nuggets a 1.5 point favorite, and the total, which at one point got up as high as 208 or 208.5, closed at 206.5 here at Circa. Right now, here's your score in the first quarter with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Clippers lead the Nuggets 22-19. Your live line, as we are in the final 30 seconds of this first quarter, Clippers minus 2.5 with a live total of 201.5. Now, we know that Game 7 unders have been the trend here. And as you get later on in a playoff series, whether it's Game 6 or Game 7, that's when the unders start to dominate. I went back and looked since the start of the 2021 playoffs. Unders, not a lot of Game 7s, only 9 of them. It's been 6-3 to the under, but your average total in those games has been 205 and 205.2 points per game. If you go back, let's say the last 10 years. So you want to start with the 2014 season, and you want to just do the last 10 years of Game 7s in the playoffs. 21-11 to the under with an average of 205.8 points per game. Let's go back even further. The last 20 years in the NBA. Unders 39-24 with an average score of 197.1. Obviously in the mid to late 2000s, a little bit of a different style game as we've seen more threes and the game has changed and now we have more scoring. But if you just look at all this data, it all points towards an under. I'm on the under in this game. Thankfully, at a better number than what it closed at 208. And more importantly, I bet the first half under at 101. Because when I look at the first halves of these game 7s, all of them are trending way under 100 points. Right now, a little bit of a flurry here at the end of the first half. Not much. The first quarter, not much. Clippers lead 26-21 at the end of one. Your live total is 201.5. And taking a look at, let's see, your live halftime numbers for the first half. Live total in the first half, 96.5. So we're sitting good with our under 101 here in the first half. Second half number is already out. If you want to look, DraftKings has it posted right now at 105.5 for that second half total. We will adjust and we'll see what the line is once we get to the end of the second quarter. Speaking of that second quarter, which will start when they return from the commercial break here, the Nuggets are the favorite, minus 135 on the second quarter money line. Your second quarter total, 49.5. And it's minus 120 towards the over right now at DraftKings. And I got to be honest, with 47 points scored in the first quarter, obviously I'm sitting here with an under of 101. I could take an over that 49.5 in the second quarter and look to scoop up both bets here. But I'd rather not, because this is an under game. Every handicap, I had no take on the side. I leaned Clippers only because I was on the Clippers before the series even began. But I didn't want to jump in on anything in this game. To me, it was an absolute coin flip. I could see either team winning. If I would have gotten more points on the spread with the Clippers, I could have been intrigued. You want to give me 3 points with the Clippers? I'll take the 3 with the Clippers. But the game was at 1.5. I had no interest in playing that side. The total, though, spoke to me, just as the total spoke to everybody, as indicative by the market adjusting the number to go down. So again, your live total right now as we sit at the end of the first quarter. 26-21, Clippers lead the Nuggets. Your live total, 202.5. And that is down from the pregame total, closing at 206.5 here at Circa. We are minutes away from the puck dropping in Dallas. Game 7 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. Couple of things to note here. Much like in the NBA, Game 7s go under. And looking at the past several years, post-COVID, since the start of the 2021 season, Game 7s in the Stanley Cup playoffs are 12-2 to the under. Now, this entire postseason has been an over postseason, especially in the Western Conference. And look no further than this series alone, because we've seen a ton of goals scored in this entire series. These teams are going back and forth, and it's so hard for me to bet an under because the empty net possibilities, especially in an elimination game, we can get multiple empty net games like we did in game number 6. But look at this entire series. 5-1 in game number 1, goes over. 4-3 in game number 2, goes over. 2-1 overtime, game 3, pivotal, goes under. 4-0, game 4, under. Then a 6-2 over in game 5, 7-4 over in game 6. This game 7, to me, should and could play out like that game 3 did. We might get overtime in this game. I don't know if I have it in me to bet the under 5.5, but what I do have it in me is to bet the under in the first period. Under 1.5 goals is my best bet for this game. Under 1.5 in the first period. Because looking at all those game 7s, and I went back and I looked at all, 14 game 7s since 2021. Most recently, it was, last year, Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and the Panthers. Florida wins 2-1. 12-2 to the under. It's 11-3 to the first period under. And if you just look at the averages, the average scoring per period in all 14 of those game 7s, starting with the 2021 season, it's less than 1 goal per first period. Every other period is averaging over a goal. Second period, we're at 1.6. Third period, you're at 1.5. First period, 0.7. These teams, and it's not going to be necessarily a feeling out process because this is the 7th game of a series, but it's going to be physical early on. Both teams will look to set the tone. And I expect this to be maybe a scoreless, or if anything, a 1-goal lead for a team after the first period. And if you wanted to pick a side maybe to lean on for the first period of this game, you could look at Dallas, because as our good friend Jonathan Davis, JD, our hockey analyst here at VSiN, writes up on vsin.com, in this postseason, teams coming off of a loss have scored the first goal in the next game 24 out of 35 times. 24-11. The team that lost the previous game scores the first goal. So if you want to look at a prop bet, you want to do first goal scored by Dallas, maybe you want to do Dallas team total over a half a goal in the first period. I don't necessarily like that because I'm on the under in the first period. So maybe just betting Dallas to score the first goal, you give yourself a little leeway because it could happen in the second period if we have a scoreless first period. But my best bet on this game is the under 1.5 goals in the first period. Avalanche and Stars were a little less than 10 minutes away from puck drop there in Dallas. We'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the NBA. Game number 7 between the Clippers and the Nuggets. It is 28-26 Nuggets right now over the Clippers as they have gone on a little run here at the start of the second quarter. Your live total, though, and this game is pacing under. Your live total right now, 196.5, as this thing continues to pace towards the under. The defense is picking up. And these teams are being cautious. We already knew this was an under series from the get-go with the way that the Clippers have played defense, with the way that the possessions have been limited. This series, more than any other series, has been the least amount of possessions per 100 minutes. So you just look at this game, and it had under written all over it. Game 7, which already adding into the under nature of this series. Right now, 28-27. Nuggets over the Clippers. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. Live total of 198.5. Your live line, Nuggets minus 2.5. We also have some Saturday baseball in progress right now. A lot of games that have been affected by weather. Some pretty nasty weather all around the country. Games that are in rain delays or that already had weather delays. One game has already been postponed. The Mets and the Cardinals will play a doubleheader tomorrow, so that game has been postponed there in St. Louis. But a lot of teams dealing with weather delays. The Dodgers and Braves in a weather delay right now in Atlanta as well. So we'll keep you up to date on all the Major League Baseball stuff that's in progress. Still one game that has not begun yet. It is the Tigers at the Angels. That's coming up a little more than an hour or so from now. Once again, I'm Scott Seidenberg. You can always hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnAir, and we're going to sweat out these bets together, you and me. This is what we're going to do here on this live bet Saturday. Coming up next, we're going to be joined by Chad Andrus from 104.3 The Fan in Denver. It's a Denver sports night. We got the Nuggets in progress, the Avalanche about to begin. We'll get the Denver perspective next, right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Hey, smarter bets start here and last all year long with VSiN Pro. For a limited time, we're slashing the price on our annual subscription. Normally $240, now just $199. And when you sign up today, we'll throw in 2 extra months for free. That's 14 months of VSiN Pro access for less than 50 cents a day when you use promo code PRO. Get 14 months of daily best bets from the host and guests, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 live video, and full show replays on the VSiN Watch app, plus all of our special edition betting guides. Go to vsin.com/subscribe now. Use promo code PRO to lock in your 14 months. This is Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Scott Seidenberg, and joining us right now on the Progressive Guest Line to talk about a Denver Game 7 Saturday is Chad Andrus from 104.3 The Fan there in Denver, also contributor to denversports.com. Chad, what's your emotions like right now? What's the city like right now? We got the Nuggets in progress, puck about to drop between the Stars and the Avalanche. This is a stressful Game 7 evening in Denver.
Well, just to give you an idea, Scott, I'm watching at my house so I can pay attention to both games, change my sound back and forth. So I'm kind of by myself watching split screen in my living room, and I haven't sat down since the gates opened for the Kentucky Derby. So I'm pacing in my house, and the Avalanche haven't even dropped the puck yet. So, the city is very much, fired up today. Obviously with one team being on the road, it's not, quite the same thing. But, with a shared arena, it would have had to be that way anyway. But I think this is only the second time this has ever happened where one city had 2 Game 7s on the same day. So, yeah, it's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing.
Yeah, the only thing I can remember that even comes close to this is, and it wasn't Game 7, but I remember you had Giants and Eagles play on the same day as Yankees and Phillies World Series, both in Philadelphia. What an ultimate tailgate that was, because the stadiums share the parking lot, so you got to have 2 games in one day there. But this is Game 7. It's on a whole nother level here right now. Second quarter action. The Nuggets with a 34-30 lead. What have you noticed so far about what the Nuggets have done here early on against the Clippers?
Well, there's some good and there's some bad. The good is the others, as Chuck likes to call them on TNT, right? Charles Barkley, Christian Brown, Michael Porter, even Peyton Watson. A few minutes, they came out aggressive. They weren't backing down. They weren't shying from the moment, and that's a big part of the reason why the Nuggets have the lead right now, because Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray have been awful. Jokic just finally hit his first shot on his sixth attempt. Murray doesn't have a field goal yet. And, the one thing the Nuggets have going for them is the other guys haven't backed away from the moment early. But again, this is still the first half of a Game 7. We all know that it gets a lot tighter in the second half of those games. And I expect this one to be back and forth and very close. So I don't think anybody is going to be too loosey-goosey and feeling free in that fourth quarter. So we'll see if those guys still have that same attitude when we get there.
Now, we know Game 7's, Chad, always trend towards the under. I've given the numbers out. I mean, it's historically an extremely profitable system, just betting Game 7 unders. Total in this game had gotten bet down. It closed at 206.5. Live total was under 200 for a little bit. It has ticked back up to 201.5. If this continues to be a low-scoring game, which we expect it to be as of right now, and we are trending towards a game that is played under 200 total, does that benefit the Nuggets, or does that play into more so the Clippers' strength, in your opinion?
I think it, oddly enough, even though the Nuggets, when they're on, they have an elite offense, I think it does benefit them because they are at home and they still do have the best player in the world. So if you're talking about when you have to get a bucket, nothing's being called, it's a Mark Davis game, right? If this weren't a Game 7 with everything on the line, the physicality that they're allowing so far and what you're going to see in the second half, there would be a fight. Like, there would be a fight in a regular season game under these circumstances. But anytime that is the case, give me Nikola Jokic, because as he will tell you, he will scoff and laugh a little bit and he say, "I played in Serbia, brother. You're not gonna rough me up. Have you seen my brothers? Those are the guys I wrestled my entire life. If it becomes a knockdown, drag out fist fight, give me that guy in the end. And I don't know if I can say the same about someone like James Harden on the other side when you know what his playoff history is."
Oh, 100%. Talking to Chad Andrus from 104.3 The Fan and DenverSports.com. Joining us on the Progressive Guest Line, I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN. Final note here on this. It's 34-30 Nuggets. Your live line, Denver minus 3.5. Live total 201.5. Chad, let's focus our attention now on the ice. The puck will drop momentarily in Dallas between the Avalanche and the Stars. The Avalanche, a lot of money coming in on them as they were a short 130 to 135 favorite, but that has ticked up significantly as more people are betting on the Avalanche to win this game. I'm seeing upwards of minus 160 here as we prepare for puck drop. I've gone on record. I'm not sure about your opinion. I can kind of guesstimate where you're at here. This series should have been over already. If you look at every analytical factor in this series, the Avalanche have dominated the play. I give the Stars all the credit in the world for that Game 5 win, but the Avs have had control of this series. That being said, it's a Game 7 and anything can happen. What's your take on this game that's about to start right now?
Yeah, I think DeBoer was whining about the calls and the puck luck in Game 6, but he had no problem taking all that puck luck into overtime wins earlier in the series, right? So, it's odd because when we opened on both of these games, historically the way home teams dominate Game 7s in both leagues, the Nuggets were a home underdog and the Avalanche were a road favorite. So it was a little strange when you were looking at these Game 7s. I think the Avalanche are the better team. I think if the Avalanche survive this game, they win the Stanley Cup. And when they do, I took a ticket on them after the Mikko Rantanen trade, before the trade deadline at 16-1 to win the Cup. So I need them to come through in this one.
Oh, so do I. And listen, I have tickets on both of these teams, so either way, one of my tickets is getting ripped up and another one is going to continue. I will say this. I feel much better about the Avalanche chances to win the Cup if they advance tonight than Dallas does. I think if Dallas wins, they are going to lose in the next round, but Colorado, as you mentioned, could win the Stanley Cup. This is the deepest version of the Avalanche that we've seen in years. And when it comes to this game and just moving forward, what do you think they need to clean up? What does Jared Bednar need to see from his team in order for this version of the Avalanche to make a deep Cup run?
I like most of what I've seen. I think a lot of the trouble that they've run into is just matchup specific to a Pete DeBoer coach Stars team. And in this matchup in particular, they can't get cute like they like to do in passing the puck around looking for the perfect shot. They just have to put pucks on net the same way that the Stars do. And getting Gabe Landeskog in front of the net, getting Val Nichushkin in front of the net, those big bodies just, causing any type of impairment in front of goaltenders and having a chance to get a tip. they've got to get more traffic in front of the net instead of trying to be too cute and looking for perfect shots from the slot all the time.
Yeah, I took an under first period here, under 1.5, so we're in progress right now. I'm just watching the clock here tick down. I do think this winds up being an under in the first period. I'm not so sure about the game, though. If you had to lean one way or the other on the total for the game at 5.5, where would you lean?
Yeah, I took under on that. I see this, potential 1-1 to overtime, or maybe a 3-2 final, something like that. If it got to 6, it would shock me. But then again, it was shocking to me that you had kind of the second period explosion of goals the other night in Game 6 too. So I would still lean under 5.5.
Well, Chad, I appreciate the time. I know you're sweating. You got the dual screen action going on. Enjoy the games. Best of luck, and we'll look forward to chatting with you should the Avalanche win tonight, which we hope they do because we have the tickets on them, and they advance further in the Cup playoffs.
All right, thanks, Scott.
There he is, Chad Andrus, 104.3 The Fan there in Denver, contributor denversports.com. All right, the clock is ticking. We want this to keep ticking, tick, 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 as we are about 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes in to the first period, and we don't want any goals to be scored because we have the under 1.5 in the first period right now between the Stars and the Avalanche. We are also sweating out an under in the first half between the Nuggets and the Clippers, and right now the Denver Nuggets, with a really strong second half here, have really pushed this total upwards now. So here's where we are. We have the Nuggets leading 44-38. There's 5:24 to go in the first half. Your live total has been has been moved up now to 210.5. And so we are now over what the closing line was for the game. And now we have a big shot made by the Clippers. 44-41 is the score. Your live total of 212.5. And with our under in the first half, we've officially reached sweat territory, as there's been a little bit of a scoring surge here in the last 2 minutes that we need to absolutely slow down. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnair. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live. The Dallas Stars are on the power play early on here in the first period. Game 7's underway between the Nuggets and the Clippers from Denver, the Avalanche and the Stars from Dallas. Plus, we'll update you on the Major League Baseball scoreboard coming up next. This is Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Take your betting to the next level with First Bet, whether it's Santa Anita Gulfstream Park or the road to the Triple Crown. First Bet puts the action at your fingertips. Sign up now at firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use promo code VSiN200. Score a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today at firstbet.com. Congratulations to Sovereignty for winning the Kentucky Derby. Up next 2 weeks from now, the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico. So congratulations, our very own Mike Somich hitting the superfecta on the Kentucky Derby today, and congrats to all those who tailed Somich's superfecta there. What a nice hit. I believe it was $24 hit like for $1,600 or something like that. Just an incredible payout there on the Kentucky Derby. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, and I can't believe I'm going to lose this first half bet. I am just shocked at the fact that this first half is going over. 26-21, the Clippers led after the first quarter. Early on in the second quarter, this was trending way towards an under. The under 101 was, it was easy. I wasn't counting the money, but you could have started to count your money here. But 36 points, from the Nuggets here in the second quarter as the first half officially goes over with 1:16 left here in the half, as we have an official over of 102 right now and counting, as they're going to continue to keep scoring. Just what a terrible, terrible turn of events for my first half under bet. And for the game under, we are now at a live total of 212.5 as the Nuggets on the live line minus 7.5. Again, 57-45. The Nuggets lead the Clippers after scoring 37 points here in 36 points here in the second quarter. Clippers have scored 21, but this has been just a scoring surge from the Nuggets here. And a lot of it's been, I guess, at the free throw line. 14 free throw attempts already from the Nuggets. Now, they're only 9 of 14 from the free throw line, but the whistle's starting to help out the Denver Nuggets. They are 6 of 14 from three-point range. The Clippers, 4 of 14 from three-point range, but 7 of 7 from the free throw line. The Nuggets, as I mentioned, 9 of 14 from the free throw line, as these teams just continue to score at a pace that not many people expected. I certainly did not when I bet the first half to go under. Still hoping that this second half slows down, which I would expect here in a Game 7, and you know, hoping that it slows down here because for the game to go under, it's going to need to be a big time under second half. As we got 30 seconds left in the first half, Nuggets will be shooting free throws. It is a 57-47 lead for Denver. Live line, Denver minus 6.5. Your live total of 212.5. Meanwhile, on the ice, there's no score between the Avalanche and the Stars. We've got 11 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the first period, and we are sweating out in under 1.5 in that first period. But we're going to have to sweat out the next 4 minutes because it appears that we have a double minor against Jamie Benn. So I guess they did a little review here, and they determined that it is a double minor. Jamie Benn high sticking against Valerie Nichushkin. So the Avalanche will go to a 4-minute power play here with 11:32 left to go in the first period. Current stats, both teams with just 2 shots on goal, and this will be the first 2 power play opportunities for the Avalanche, 1 power play opportunity for the Stars, and we have yet to get a goal, which is a good thing because we don't want any goals to be scored in this game, or not forget about the game. I mean, I think we can get goals later on, but I just want the under 1.5 to come through here in the first period. But gonna have to sweat out these 4 minutes. You know, I have this debate all the time when it comes to betting an under in hockey, and whenever a team's on the power play, a couple of things. Naturally, you would you think that it's positive for the over. Right? Because, hey, you got one team with a man advantage, and a lot of goals are scored on the power play. You know, you figure, okay, a man advantage, they're going to find an open shot, some player's going to get open, and you know, there's going to be a goal scored. So if you have an over, you're like, I want a power play. But when I have, at least when I have the over, that's what I think. But when I have the under, I actually think the opposite way. I actually don't mind power plays. Because at least in my mind, as I try and justify and feel good about my bet, when a team is on the power play, I know that the other team that's on the kill is not trying to score. And so I feel good that if the opposing team can kill off the penalty, that's 2 minutes gone by without a goal. Like, I feel like you can kill 2 minutes. The other team, just every time they get the puck, they just dump it down the ice, dump it down the ice, dump it down the ice. And so while some people think power plays are great for the overs, I tend to think power plays are good for the unders because on 5v5, both teams are trying to score. On a power play / penalty kill, only one team is trying to score. And if I can get 2 minutes of one team just dumping it down the ice and wasting as much time as they can, I'll take that in an under situation. So I would very much so like for the Stars to continue to kill off this penalty. We are under 10 minutes to go now. Still no score between the Stars and the Avalanche. 9:44 exactly to go in that first period. We are at the half here in Denver. 58-47. The Nuggets lead the Clippers. Your live line, Denver minus 7.5. Your live total, 209.5. Let's read you the box score right now. We have Denver shooting 21 of 47, 44.7% from the field. The Clippers 18 of 44, 40.9%. Denver 6 of 15 from three-point range. Clippers 4 of 15 from three-point range. So both teams not shooting the three-pointer well. Denver a little bit better than the Clippers. Clippers are a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Denver 10 of 16 from the free throw line. Rebounds pretty identical, 26-25. And turnovers, 7 turnovers for the Clippers to just 3 for the Denver Nuggets. And that's been the difference in the game, because off those turnovers, the Nuggets have scored 7 points off of the turnovers for the Clippers. Nuggets have 14 fast break points in this game. Points in the paint, pretty identical. 30 for the Nuggets, 26 for the Clippers. But it's those transition baskets, the fast break points. 14 fast break points for the Nuggets, just 4 for the Clippers, and 7 points off of those turnovers. That the 7 turnovers that the Clippers had, the Nuggets have translated that into 7 points. So largest lead of the game has been 12, and now it is an 11-point lead, 58-47. The Nuggets lead the Clippers at the half. Your live line, again, Nuggets minus 7.5, and the live total of 209.5. So let's take a look here. Second half options, what we have, we're looking at 104.5 for the second half. Now this game did close with a total of 206.5 here at Circa. And as I mentioned, your live total up on DraftKings right now is at 210.5. And so you're going to need a low-scoring second half here in order to cash this. The best number out here in the market right now on the second half is 105 and a half. I see Caesars has for the second half. That's going to be your best bet, your best number on an under in the second half. DraftKings has it as well now. 105 and a half, minus 120 up on DraftKings for the second half under. Second half line is the Clippers minus 3.5. And again, the team totals, as we take a look at what the team lines are, Denver team total 109.5, Clippers team total 101.5, 58-47 at the half right now. When we come back, we will get to the best bets for the second half here in this game. I want to remind you guys, you can take VSiN with you anywhere, anytime by becoming a VSiN Pro subscriber today. Stay connected to all the action wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, available on your phone, tablet, and smart TV. And with the VSiN Watch app, you get 24/7 live access to our video and audio streams, replays of your favorite shows, big screen streaming straight to your smart TV, and you can access clips by sport. Watch VSiN anywhere, anytime. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Best bet for the second half coming up next with me, Scott Seidenberg, right here on Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. This is Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnAir. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live. Well, we took it on the chin with our first half under 101 as we looked great after the first quarter. where the Clippers led the Nuggets 26-21, but then a Denver surge in the second quarter. Clippers did their part, scoring only 21 points, but Denver scoring 37 points in that second quarter. As we are at the half right now, Denver leading the Clippers, Game 7. Denver leads 58-47. Your live markets right now, Denver minus 7.5, live total of 210.5. Now, Denver Clippers closed this game as the 1.5 point dog. So Denver was a 1.5 point favorite at close. Now they're 7.5 point favorites. The total closed at 206.5. It was bet down from 208.5 to 206.5 at close here at Circa. So I'm looking at this game. I'm looking at the way that I've seen it being played, looking at the box score, and I've decided on a best bet here for the second half. And actually, it's going to be a best bet for the third quarter. That's right. We have a third quarter best bet. And best bets brought to you by G-Bank, of course, the official bank of VSiN. So here we go. We're going to go with the Clippers team total in the third quarter under 28.5 points. Clippers third quarter team total under 28.5 points. There has been 6 games in this series already. And in that 6 games, times the, plus the 2 quarters in here, we've had 26 quarters of play. The Los Angeles Clippers have gone over 28.5 points in 9 of those 26 quarters. Game number 1, they went over in the first quarter, and that's it. In game number 2, they went over in the second quarter, and that's it. Game number 3, pull up game number 3 here. Game number 3, the Clippers went over in the first quarter and the second quarter. Game number 4, let's see, pull up game number 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Game number 4, Clippers went over in the fourth quarter, and that's it. In game number 5, Clippers went over in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. And in game number 6, Clippers went over this in the second and third. 9 total quarters out of 26 quarters that have been played, the Clippers have gone over the 28.5 point mark, which means, let's do the math here, we're looking pretty good on our under trend here. Just the way that it's played out, 26 points in the first quarter, only 21 in the second. We're going to go under 28.5 for the Clippers team total in the third quarter. And that is a best bet brought to you by G-Bank. Get the G-Bank Visa Signature Card today. Most credit cards treat sportsbook and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right there. Also with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cash back rewards on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on all eligible purchases. Apply now at vsin.com/Gbank. That's vsin.com/Gbank. Once again, best bet, third quarter, Clippers team total under 28.5. If you're curious, the Nuggets team total is at 26.5. The total for the game, as I mentioned, the live total for the game now is at 210.5. You have a second half line of the Clippers minus 3.5 and the total of 105.5. I do lean towards the under in the second half, but really I'm going to pick on the Clippers right now in this third quarter. I think for the Clippers' sake, it's got to be a low-scoring quarter. If they can win the quarter 27-21, get back 6 points right there, 25-21. Really just do what they did in the first quarter. A 26-21 quarter puts them right back in this game. All of a sudden, you're not trailing by 11, you're trailing by 6 or 5, whatever it is, you're in a good position going into the fourth quarter. What we don't want to see is the Clippers go off for like 30 points. And based on what we've seen in this game so far, I just don't see that to be the case. Now, we did get snake bitten with our first half under, and that was a bummer. It looked great after the first quarter. It looked terrible. Well, it actually looked great in the first couple of minutes of the third quarter when the live total was down to 197.5. But then it was the turnovers. Not only was it the turnovers, it was the points off of the turnovers that really was the difference. And as I mentioned, I'll read the box score again. We've had 7 turnovers for the Clippers that have led to 7 points for the Nuggets. 14 fast break points for the Denver Nuggets, including there was a play, this is like a total under killer. Russell Westbrook misses a free throw, gets his own rebound, and tips it in. Denver looks like the hungrier team right now. And when you consider a Game 7, what it takes to win a Game 7, you go for the team that's got the championship pedigree, the team that's been there before, the team that's played together for a lengthy period of time. This is a unit that's been together for years now, rather than the Clippers unit that hasn't been healthy a lot and hasn't played together a lot. I agreed with the line being in favor of Denver in this game, -1.5. I thought it was a little bit disrespectful that in game number 5, the Clippers were a 2.5-point favorite on the road. That didn't make sense to me. But I agreed that, with the line here in game number 7, and of course I leaned towards the under. I still have an under ticket on the full game. Lost the under in the first half, but still holding on to that under under for the full game. And we did bet the Clippers under here in the third quarter. So don't like the fact that the Clippers opened up with a Kawhi Leonard three-pointer to start the third quarter, but the Nuggets have answered right back. It is a 5-3 third quarter right now in favor of the Denver Nuggets as they lead by a score of 63-50 right now. Meanwhile, we got 39 seconds left in the first period in Dallas, and our first period under 1.5, looking pretty good right now, as there is no score between the Avalanche and the Stars. This plays into all the Game 7 trends that we've talked about, where the Game 7s tend to go under. Well, not 10. They go under with a large percentage. If you go back since the 2021 season, we have had Game 7 unders in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 12-2. And all of those games have been a total of 5.5. Only one of those games was a total of 6, and that was one of the overs. It was the Bruins-Panthers, April 30th, 2023, and that was, that was the first-round series. Panthers won 4-3 in overtime. That game was lined at a total of 6. So if you take out that game, and there was actually another game lined at 6 that went under, a 6.5 game that went under as well. But if you just say the totals have been 5.5 or 5, you're looking at an incredible under streak. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight unders in Stanley Cup playoff Game 7s. That's right, 9 straight unders in Stanley Cup playoff Game 7s, and 12-2 since 2021 to the under, 11-3 to the first period under. Well, let's make that number now 12-3 as the first period goes scoreless here between the Stars and the Avalanche. So congrats to all of you that listened at the start of the show, where we cashed our best bet for the game between the Avalanche and the Stars, under 1.5 goals in the first period. We'll take a look at the stats, see what both teams have done, take a look at any bets that we might have for the second period, or maybe a live bet on the full game, because I'm feeling something here. I think I'm onto something for the rest of this game here. Again, no score between the Stars and the Avalanche. First intermission, Game 7 in Dallas. And we have a stoppage here in Denver, 65-50. Nuggets lead the Clippers, 10.5 minutes to go in the third quarter there. Plus, we got to get into the Major League Baseball scoreboard coming up next. We're just getting underway. We have so much to do here, lots of tickets to cash. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN.